Right.
Before we get to that sequence, let's start the story before the season even begins. Prior to any hunting trip, it's very important to practice at home before you decide to go out into a stand or on the ground or a blind or wherever you decide to sit. This is especially important when you are archery hunting because there is much less room for error when you are staring down your target than, say, with a rifle.
After shooting a little bit more, I got that group tightened up a little bit. It's still maybe 2 inches in diameter there, but overall not too bad. Definitely get the job done.
Despite this group not looking the best, I did practice heavily once we arrived at camp and eventually got it down to about 1.5 inches to about a 1 inch group at 30 yards.
Okay, y'all, we are in the stand for the very first set of late season archery here in Pennsylvania. The season just opened up yesterday, and I'm out here in a tree stand, nice ladder stand. I did shoot my buck out of this stand this year in rifle season, so if you would like to see that video, I'll put it up in a card right here, and I will link it down in the description. But yeah, we're just gonna sit here with the bow and wait for something to walk by. Looking for a big doe. See you then.
Before long, we got the first action of our trip with a couple of these small does just cruising on in. They meandered around this area for a little while until they eventually stopped at exactly the 30-yard mark at this little food pile.
Okay, y'all, those deer just cleared out of here. They were back behind me. They did come up alongside of me, but let me tell you, my fingers are frozen. I can barely feel them, and they're starting to turn red and purple at the top. But the reason that is because my bow, I have my GoPro mounted to my bow, and I don't have the opportunity to get my phone out while those deer are standing here, so I just turned the GoPro on, and I have to hold the bow, which is metal, and it's currently 25 degrees outside, so it's a little chilly. As you can see right here, this is plastic, but all around here is metal, and then I have my GoPro, so I have to keep my GoPro and the deer in frame to get that footage. And they were literally standing. They started all the way up there, and they worked their way, and then worked their way down the hill. And I did have a shot on a couple of them that were eating at that little pile right there, but they were way too small. They were all yearlings or 1-year-olds, and I don't really want to take a 1-year-old or even a yearling if I don't have to. I like to let them grow, see what they can kind of mature into. But still have a little bit of daylight left. We're gonna see if we can get some more to come in. Okay, y'all, that was the end of hunt number 1. Saw plenty of deer. Had a couple shots, but just nothing really the size I'm looking for. I definitely don't want to shoot a yearling or something that's not very mature. As I said before, I like to see them get big, get mature, spread their genes. Just at least give them the chance to anyway. But yeah, end of day 1. A lot of action. Looking forward to the next couple of sits, so I'll catch up with y'all then. Okay, y'all, we are back in the stand. We are on the hunt for a nice mature doe. As you can see, all of the snow has melted, but the rain has come, and it's forecasted to start picking up here a little bit, but we're gonna sit here, wait the long haul till dark, and see if we can't get something to walk by. I'll update you with any action.
Soon after I stopped recording, this grouse decided to visit me for about half an hour before it decided to make like a tree and leaf.
Okay, y'all, we are back in the stand again. We are at a different spot right now. It's probably about 200, 250 yards yards from that previous spot that I've been hunting so far. But we're set up in pretty thick stuff right here. Max shot's probably 30 yards, which is right in my comfort zone. So we're just gonna sit here and see if something doesn't give us the opportunity to sling an arrow.
Right before the end of legal shooting light, a small group of doe passed through at about 75 yards, which is way beyond my comfort level for a shot. I did, however, note the direction in which they traveled, which, as you will see later on in the video, was very important. Also, the snow decided to fall again.
Okay, y'all, we are back in the stand once again with the old compound here. We are still on the hunt for a nice mature doe, but this spot's only probably about 10-15 feet off the ground. As you can see, not very high, but there is a lot of activity in this area, so we're just gonna sit here, stay quiet, and hope something gives us the opportunity. Stay tuned. I have a good feeling about this spot.
Yeah, that feeling must have been a fluke because I did not see a single sign of life, and it was one of the coldest sits of my life after the snowfall ramped up.
We are once again sitting in the stand. I've been in here for probably 2 hours now. And as you can tell, it is once again snowing here in Pennsylvania, late archery season. This weather and temperature just doesn't get any easier. The real feel is probably about 15 right now, and it is just dumping snow on me. So we're gonna hunker down, stay for the long haul, and we did have 2 doe come by earlier, but they were too far, and I didn't want to take that shot. So we're just gonna sit here, hunker down in the snow, and wait for something to walk by.
In this sit, I had a few deer walk by, nothing really to point out other than this last one, which was a spike buck, I believe, but they all just kind of moseyed their way on to the right of me and then eventually went out of sight behind me.
Okay, y'all, back again in the stand. With the bow, we are at a completely new spot here. I'm sitting in a double tree stand. It is angled a little more than I would like. So that might prove a little bit of problems when I have to stand up for a possible shot. But the place where I'm at right now, it is littered, completely littered with tracks and places where the deer are foraging. Now, I did kick out a few while walking up here. But that's okay, because it's still early in the day. We have plenty of time left for something to walk in front of us.
I did get visited by this little spike buck. Not sure if he was the same one from the other day, but he did bed down probably 70, 80 yards to my left, up until a 4-pointer came strolling on by to my top right. And then once they saw each other, started noticing each other, the spike buck let out a little grunt, and then they kind of came together and then went off together up the hill. After sitting in tree stands all week, I decided to change up my tactics for the next hunt.
So today we're actually going to switch up the plan. We're going to sit on the ground because, as you can see, there's a trail coming down right there, and then another one coming down right there. There's that first one from up there, and then there's all this traffic going right underneath this big hemlock. So we're probably going to sit somewhere over there, aiming towards this way, and see what walks by. was insane. That was insane. She came in. She was at pretty much exactly 15 yards. I'm pretty sure I made a good hit on her. I'm pretty confident I made a good hit on her. You could hear that distinct pop. Sounded like a cavity hit. So we're gonna go check the arrow and see what we got. We are gonna give her a little bit. I'm gonna walk up, check the arrow, then give her a little bit of time to see if she'll expire. Let's go, guys. She's hit, guaranteed. Well, y'all, here is the site of the shot. Let me back this up a little bit. You can see there's a bunch of hair as she started to run off that way and went straight out that direction. But on this hair, you can see there's already blood, and she's spraying already right there. So we're gonna give her a little bit and see if she won't go down somewhere. So I found my arrow here. It looks like we had a good deployment from the G2 or G5 mega meat here. There's blood. It's just absolutely caked in blood. Looks like a good sign. It's already frozen over, but it is caked in blood. Starting off with a good sign. Look at all that hair right there. Okay, y'all, I gave her a little bit. It's almost dark out, even though the camera doesn't show it very well because of my light, but the arrow's right there. So we're gonna start to track this old girl. So I already walked her path. She went this way first and then came across our first decent glob of blood. It's bright red, right like how we want to see. Spraying pretty good. Another nice big glob there. Just consistently doing pretty good here. Yeah, she's a spraying. This is my, sorry if I'm blinding you a little bit, I'll look upwards, but this is my first time using the old G5 Mega Meat. I'm shooting 100 grains. I had my old Matthews tactic here, and seems to have put a wallop on this old girl. So we're gonna give her a little bit more and then keep on tracking down the road. Even though there's pretty consistent blood, it just drops here and there, and I don't want to kick her out. So we're just gonna give her a little bit, no harm in that, and then track her in a couple minutes. Okay, folks, we are back where we left off. I had to go down to the truck real quick and deploy some hot hands. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's rattling in there because my fingers, they were frozen. So we're gonna continue on tracking this old girl. Hopefully we can find her in the next few minutes. So let's get to it. There she lies, right on the other side here. Beautiful, beautiful deer. Yeah, I think I knew I hit her a little high, but I must have severed some kind of artery there. See see if she's expired. I'm pretty sure. If you ever want to know how to check if a deer is expired, just poke their eye. I'm gonna jump like hell if she jumps. Yep, she's done. Yeah, looks like she stopped for a second there. There's a big old pile. And then she just kind of backed up and came out. I do believe, yeah, she was spraying like crazy right here. But I do believe that might be the exit. So I'm gonna flip her over and show y'all the entrance here. Yeah, right there's the entrance. I knew I hit her a little high, but given the shot, I figured that's about as perfect as it's gonna get. So incredibly thankful for this deer to give me this opportunity to feed myself and my family. And just gotta say that this moment, one of a kind. One of a kind. Until you experience it, there's nothing like it. So I'm gonna get this girl all processed up, and we'll see you back at camp. So yesterday, after I retrieved that deer that you just saw, I remembered, as I was driving back to camp, that I left my arrow up in the woods. So I'm gonna her the next day and gonna see if I can't find my arrow. So as you can see here, this is the trail that I was hunting along, where these two kind of come together and merge. And I was standing right about there behind some of that brush, and the deer, I was standing right about there behind some of that brush, and the deer was right up there. So I'm gonna work my way back up to where I was standing and then go and find my arrow. Now that deer is nearly completely processed. We did get her skun out yesterday and quartered up, took the back straps out and all that fun business. So today we're just there, standing right there. Deer was right over there. Kind of a tight shot window, not something I would usually take, but since it was so close, I do have a 15-yard pin on my bow. So I was fairly confident in the shot. Therefore, I took it. And it worked out pretty good in my favor. But here we are, walking up. Here's my arrow. Still a little bit of hair here. The Luminoc is still lit, which is a good sign. And our broadhead there. As you can see from the arrow, it was a pretty decent hit. Nice bright red all the way through. So I'm actually gonna walk the trail that we went and go over to where she expired. I'm gonna check out the gut pile to see if there were any predators that decided to pay it a visit last night. Well, it did not appear that any predators were right around the gut pile. I'm not gonna show it to y'all because YouTube might throw a little bit of a hissy fit. That's kind of why I black and whited whenever there was blood on the deer. But it doesn't look like anything was here other than maybe a porcupine, but I doubt that they would be taking part in this gut pile. So yeah, no predators, not gonna set any traps. We would have to cover it by the air anyway to make it legal. Probably not gonna do that. I am shipping out a couple days, so I think we're just gonna call it a week here. It's been a long 2 weeks. Sub-zero temperatures most days, highs in the 17s. But yeah, no, I'd say overall, very successful trip. So thankful for that deer, and thankful for all you guys to be able to bring you along on my journey and on my adventures. And I sure hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.